The 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs are both headed to the Super Bowl. And I think as football fans, we got the best possible matchup. I'm so excited. There's a couple matchups I'm excited to watch in the Super Bowl, but the number one thing I cannot wait to watch is the 49ers defensive line, and really the entire 49ers defense, against Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback. Both of them, the 49ers defensive line and Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, are what you would call a scheme ruiner. What that means is that no matter what you do, no matter how well you plan, they find a way to destroy your plan and succeed anyway. The 49ers just beat the Packers and the Vikings in back-to-back weeks. And it's funny to me, it didn't really matter what plays the Vikings and the Packers ran. It just didn't matter. The 49ers defensive line took over. They took over those games. They physically dominated. They won one-on-one matchups. And as a person watching the games, it's like, yeah, great. You're the Vikings. You're the Packers. You want a really creative, great play call. Congratulations. It didn't matter because your quarterback doesn't have a chance to get rid of the ball. He's on his back or he's running around trying to avoid a sack because the 49ers defensive line is so physically dominating. They can stop the run. They can disrupt the passing game. They just destroy no matter what you plan and no matter what you throw at them. They find a way to beat you because they can do it with a four-man rush and dominate one-on-one matchups. The 49ers have a really, really exciting defensive line to watch, and it's going to be a struggle for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the thing is that the Chiefs quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, is the same way. You can do everything right as a defense, and Pat Mahomes can still find a way to beat you. You can run a perfect zone coverage. Doesn't matter. He'll just run for a touchdown. Or you can cover everybody perfectly, and he'll still make a ridiculous throw that nobody else can do and complete the pass. Or he'll extend a play and throw the ball downfield. I mean, he can find so many ways as a quarterback to beat you. Both Patrick Mahomes and the 49ers defensive line can take over and dominate games because of how just dominating physically they are. So I'm curious. I don't know who's going to win this matchup, but I'm really excited to watch the 49ers defense against Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs quarterback. I do have to point this out, though. This is it's kind of bad news for 49ers fans. The one quarterback this year who gave the 49ers a ton of trouble in the two times they played him was Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, the Seattle Seahawks quarterback, has a unique and kind of innate ability to extend plays, to avoid a sack, run around, and throw the ball downfield. Patrick Mahomes has that similar type of ability to avoid a sack, to keep a play alive, and throw the ball downfield. So that could spell disaster for the San Francisco 49ers defense. I don't see a future where the Chiefs don't find a way to score a lot of points on the 49ers. That's why things are going to really rest on the 49ers offense against the Chiefs defense and throughout the rest of the game. I got to say that this matchup between the 49ers offense and the Chiefs defense is going to be really fun because the Chiefs defense massively improved this year. At one point, I even said that the Chiefs defense was the reason why they could not win the Super Bowl. And to their credit, they've really improved. They've gotten a lot better even since I said that. Their defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, is really good, really done a great job advancing everybody. And the Chiefs defense is bought in. They listen to their coaches. They've done a great job this year coming together as a group. I mean, I've talked to some NFL front offices, and the two things they say is that stats are overrated. And man, have you noticed how much better the Chiefs defense has gotten? I'm not kidding. Like, I've had 4 NFL front offices tell me that. That's really cool and exciting and interesting. And I don't know, man. It's going to be really fun because you have this really good Chiefs defense that's improved a lot. But the 49ers offense is no slouch. They can score a lot of points and score a lot of points quickly. One of the things that their offense centers around is their quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo, the 49ers quarterback, I don't think gets enough love around the NFL. A lot of people, I think fans especially, don't understand what makes him so great. What makes Jimmy Garoppolo so special is he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion, but what makes him great is not that he's flashy or has a huge arm or does this or that. He even throws interceptions sometimes. What makes him so great is that in key moments, on third down or late in the fourth quarter, the game doesn't speed up for him. When the pressure's turned on, Jimmy Garoppolo is completely comfortable, completely confident, completely cool. Some guys kind of really feel that pressure and they crack. Jimmy Garoppolo, to his credit, plays his best football in the biggest moments when his team needs him. That's going to be a big, big advantage in the Super Bowl he's not going to be phased. It's going to be a gigantic high-pressure moment, and Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be completely even keel, and play his best game. Now, the 49ers offense is built around running the football. Jimmy Garoppolo could shred you if he wants, but he may not have to because of the 49ers' creative running game. The 49ers use a ton of motions and pre-snap movement to manipulate defenses and give them better matchups in the blocking scheme. What that means is, first of all, in the passing game, they do this too. They'll motion a guy across. It creates a one-on-one matchup they like. But with the way they use this the most is in the blocking scheme, in the running game. They'll motion a guy across. It'll move a defender with him, and that creates one side that they like better than the other, and they run the ball in that direction. They do that all the time. Now, there are also two other fun matchups I can't wait to watch in the Super Bowl. Yes, Patrick Mahomes against the 49ers defense is the highlight. Then another thing is, well, how good does Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers offense do against the Chiefs defense? Both, I think, can score a lot of points. It's going to be a lot of fun. But we also have the two best tight ends in the entire NFL playing against each other. The 49ers have George Kittle, the tight end from Iowa. And the Chiefs have Travis Kelce, this incredible tight end. I don't know how, we can really talk about what makes them, in my opinion, I think George Kittle's slightly better. He's a better blocker. I think that gives him an edge. But we don't need to we can compare stats and have the whole conversation about who's better, this guy or that guy. But to me, I just want to appreciate, if you love tight ends, if you're a tight end watching this video and you want to watch the best tight ends in football go head to head, we're going to get that in the Super Bowl. Travis Kelce versus George Kittle. They don't play against each other, obviously, at the same time. They're both on offense, but it's going to be a blast. And remember, look for George Kittle. The way he blocks makes him the best tight end in the NFL, in my opinion. They're both great receiving tight ends, but George Kittle's ability to block and move guys around and help the 49ers in the running game is what sets him apart from every other tight end in the NFL. Now, the final matchup that comes to mind, in my opinion, there's a lot of matchups we could talk about coming up in the Super Bowl, but the one that really stands out to me is between the two coaches, Andy Reid, the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, and Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the 49ers. They're both great for slightly different reasons. The reason I love Andy Reid is because he's a veteran, man. He's been around a long time. He coached the Eagles for 14 years. Now he's coached the Kansas City Chiefs for 7 years. That's 21 total years in the NFL. He's won 207 games. He's actually he's won more than any other coach in NFL history that hasn't won a Super Bowl. We'll come back to that in a minute. But he's a great head coach. And then you have Kyle Shanahan, who's kind of a younger upstart coach. He's newer to the block. He's been around for a couple of years now at the 49ers, but he's still one of the younger head coaches in the NFL. And he's the son of Mike Shanahan. Mike Shanahan was the Broncos head coach when John Elway won multiple Super Bowls with the Denver Broncos. Now, Kyle Shanahan might be younger, but he's very, very brilliant. He's an offensive-minded head coach who's so good at not only getting the most out of his players, but putting them in a position to succeed, using motions, using creative formations or creative play calls to get his players in a situation that puts them in a spot to be most successful given their abilities. He's such a great, open-minded head coach who adjusts his scheme to fit his players. It's really awesome. But the other thing I love about these two coaches is both Kyle Shanahan and Andy Reid have both lost Super Bowls. They have actually both lost to the same team, the New England Patriots. Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons. If you remember back a couple of years ago, the Falcons were leading in the Super Bowl 28-3 and ended up losing to the New England Patriots. Ooh, that's painful. But he's been to a Super Bowl before. He's lost a Super Bowl before. Now, Andy Reid has a slightly different story. He's been around for years. He was a head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles in 2005. I believe it was January 2005 when he lost the Super Bowl to the New England Patriots and Tom Brady. So they both lost the Super Bowl to the Patriots, but Andy Reid's been around for years. Again, he's won 207 games. He's been a head coach for 21 seasons. He's won more games than any other NFL coach in history that hasn't won a Super Bowl. So if Andy Reid doesn't win this time and doesn't win this big game, I believe people are always going to hold it against him. They'll say he's a great coach who could never win a Super Bowl. That's not entirely fair, but that's also football fans. Football fans don't care about fair. They have an opinion, and that's what they say. So I think, man, I don't know who's going to win this game. I'll do a prediction video eventually down the road, but right now I'm just torn. I really like both franchises. I think their stories are both really interesting and really great. But the Super Bowl is going to be an amazing matchup. I mean, the 49ers and the Chiefs were so lucky as football fans to have such a perfect matchup. I mean, a great defense against a great quarterback, an underrated quarterback against underrated defense, two really good offensive-minded head coaches. It's going to be a blast, and I can't wait to watch it 2 Sundays from now.